Hello and welcome to Scanning the Horizon, Arma 3 in 2017 and beyond. Last autumn we announced a new lineup of additions to our platform, and now we'd like to take a closer look at them. But first, we want to show you a retrospective of our development as we celebrate 4 years of Arma 3. Over the past few years, supported by our strategy of releasing free platform updates and premium DLCs, there's been some truly splendid progress. While there's way too much to cover here, perhaps the standout addition is Arma 3 Apex, and the platform improvements leading up to it. Released in summer 2016, we invited players to discover Tanoa, 100 square kilometers of South Pacific island terrain. Another big milestone we're proud to announce is the growth of the Arma 3 player base to over 3 million. That's thanks in no small part, of course, to the continued strength, talent and diversity of community content. In fact, we've seen some of that work in action in the recent Arma 3 Machinima contest. And while we're on the subject, thanks again to all the entrants for their great work and congratulations to the winners. Back in 2013, we made a promise to release a solid platform and tirelessly expand upon it. And with the unveiling of our third post-release roadmap late last year, we're set to continue making Arma 3 the most authentic, diverse, open platform in 2017 and beyond. Let's take a look now with a particular focus on the upcoming release, Arma 3 Jets DLC. Jets DLC is a package of premium aircraft supported by a free platform update for everyone. It's also the first DLC we've worked on in partnership with a third-party developer, Bravo 01 Studios. The package includes 3 air superiority jets, a drone jet, a new showcase mission, and some free bonus content we don't want to reveal just yet. These jets offer a new class of aircraft for the Arma 3 sandbox. Each main faction receives a new jet. NATO get the Black Wasp, a 5th generation air superiority fighter inspired by the real-life F-22 and F-18. As a sneaky bonus, we've thrown in an unmanned aerial combat vehicle, the Sentinel-2. CSAT fans can look forward to the Shikra. Like the Black Wasp, the aircraft features an internal weapons bay, complementing the conventional pylons. And the AAF Office of Military Procurement have placed an order for the slightly less advanced, but highly nimble, Griffon fighter jet. To integrate them properly, our in-house team have created brand new gameplay features, which enhances the combined arms gameplay for everyone. Although we plan to share more details closer to the release, let's take a look at some of the highlights now. The jets themselves are supported by new features like the extended damage model. In short, this means that more parts of your aircraft can become damaged. In turn, this affects its performance and handling. The dynamic vehicle loadouts tech makes it easier to set up the missiles, rockets and bombs on your aircraft. It's also worth mentioning that this, and all the new features, benefit the entire Arma 3 sandbox. The standout new feature, though, is undoubtedly the enhancements to targeting. This new gameplay is built around adding greater depth to the simulation of radars and detection in Arma 3. Active radars, for example, are powerful sensors that can detect multiple targets beyond visual range. However, using them comes at the cost of revealing yourself to potential threats. Now you have the choice to switch them off and maintain a low profile. On the other hand, some sensors, for example infrared, won't reveal your position, but they're more limited. Its range and its field of view is going to be smaller, and will only detect targets that are hot. If your enemy has his engine switched off, for example, you'll have to rely on your visual sensor alone, and that will become less effective at night. Naturally, there's a lot more depth to this feature, and we plan to publish an uprep soon to really dig into the details. Overall, we think Jets DLC adds really meaningful new gameplay, new choices that help balance the lethality of our advanced weapon systems in an authentic way. Many of these new features are already live on our development branch right now, and we look forward to the full release in the near future. Arma 3 Malden is a free DLC slated for release in June, alongside the 16th anniversary of our series. It adds a new terrain, Malden. Veterans of our series may be familiar with the island's layout and towns, while players familiar with Project Argo will know it already. In short, the island of Malden is a reimagining of one of our original terrains. It uses adjusted assets from the vanilla Arma 3 with a few splendid additions. The DLC is also an opportunity to release a new cooperative multiplayer mode, Combat Patrol. Players form an infantry team with the option to select which area to play in. Each playthrough is a bit different thanks to the scenario's heavily randomized nature. The so-called Orange DLC is the codename for a small development taking place in our new studio in Amsterdam. The package, codenamed after the place it's being developed, is somewhere between Arma 3 carts and Arma 3 helicopters in size. It explores a unique aspect of today's battlefield, a theme not often covered by other games, which we'll announce later this year. But in terms of what you can expect, there'll be a couple of new vehicles, character clothing and gear, decorative objects, a mini-campaign, and more besides. Arma 3 Tac-Ops is a package of authentic, replayable tactical operations which make the most use of our diverse sandbox and terrains. During the production of DLCs and updates, we add various new features, weapons, vehicles, terrains, and so on. It can be a real challenge for our designers to make the most of everything and deliver robust content on time. So Tac-Ops is an opportunity to explore our rich sandbox and present the diversity of Arma gameplay in all its splendid glory. Right now, we're evaluating various pitches for the content. We're in pre-production. At this stage, we're working together with our military consultant on how to marry up authentic scenarios with fun, replayable gameplay. We plan to share more information about this content later in the year. As you might know, here at Bohemia Interactive, we're pretty big fans of tanks. In fact, so much so that we have our very own in the back garden of our studio. With that in mind, we're very pleased to include Arma 3 Tanks DLC in our roadmap. An asymmetric package of armoured vehicles, Tanks DLC aims to bring new and improved gameplay to tracked and armoured warfare. We're just about to wrap up the pre-production phase of our development, which is where we make basic choices about its content and features and form a plan for production proper. Although our content and feature list is not quite finalized, we can say our key goals are to improve the handling and experience of tracked vehicles, together with improvements to armoured combat in general. Ultimately, with new premium vehicles and free features, we want to focus on the advantages and disadvantages of different vehicles within our combined arms sandbox, offering players meaningful choices together with a richer experience. Four years into the release of Arma 3, it almost goes without saying that work on maintaining and improving the platform will continue. With that in mind, there are still a few highlights we'd like to pick out. The 64-bit executable of Arma 3, which is part of update 1.68, will enable the game to utilize virtually all of your system's memory. We expect Arma to show a lot more consistent performance. We also plan to continue our support for Linux and Mac ports. We aim to announce more about that later this year. Ultimately, there are countless small but important tweaks being released on a daily basis, something that's set to continue in 2017. Be sure to check out arma3.com or drop by our forums to keep track of it all. Once more, we'd like to close by paying tribute to our community. Your support, creativity, and dedication over the past few years has come to define, perhaps more than any feature we've released or update we've published, really what Arma 3 is today. Thank you again, and bye for now.